Good morning. I'm here drinking my Bulletproof ORGANO Coffee this morning, just before I head out to the office. And you know, I've been mulling around some ideas for my next video. I think I'm coalescing at this point. You know, in the 1960s, the sugar industry paid off scientists at Harvard University to demonize fat and to downplay the role that sugar plays in heart disease. Well, you know, we've been told for 50 years now to remove saturated fats from our diets, remove salt from the table, increase our caloric intake by virtue of carbohydrates. Well, that's been a disaster. Increase obesity, increase diabetes, increase all manner of chronic degenerative disease. You know, and as I drink my coffee here, it occurs to me that it's quite a ritual for some folks, isn't it? I mean, I think there are about 500 million cups of coffee served in North America per day. And take a look at this clip here for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay, babe, hang on. I'm just going to get my coffee.
No, leave it.
What? What is your problem?
Walk away.
Because it's not bulletproof. Yeah, and some people take it more seriously than others, obviously. At any rate, I'm going to take off and go to the office, but I'll be back in about 9 hours. By the virtue of editing, it'll look like about 5 seconds. Hop into my kitchen and show you the way I start my day with my coffee. So until then, see you in a second. Hey everyone, Dr. J back here again. Thanks for stopping in for another little video in our series. I think today will be a fun video. I've been wanting to talk a little bit about this for a while. It's going to be on Bulletproof Coffee, as you may have guessed from the intro. I've been bulletproofing for maybe 2.5 or so years. The term bulletproof was coined by Dave Asprey back around 2009, I think. It's basically a good clean coffee, freshly ground beans, into which is added grass-fed butter for good anti-inflammatory oil effect, and in addition, a different fat called MCT oil. Now, MCT, for you folks who are a few years out of organic chem like I am and maybe have forgotten some of this stuff, organic chemistry actually is, if you're on Jeopardy, and this comes up, the chemistry of carbon. What is chemistry of carbon, Alex? For 200, thank you. MCT, or medium chain triglycerides, are fats with carbon chains of between 6 and 12 carbons. 6, 8, 10, and 12. All right, so let's break it down a little bit. We can sort of throw the 6s and the 12s away for various reasons. We want to concentrate on the middle two, the C8 and the C10 length MCT oils. Caprylic acid, the C8 oil, is probably the #1 preferred MCT for very fast brain and cellular energy production. Most fats need to be digested, gone through the intestinal tract. Gallbladder is involved in breaking it down, sent through the liver, blah, blah, blah. MCT oils do not have to go through that process. They're essentially sent directly to the liver and then to the bloodstream and quickly to the brain. In fact, the C8, or caprylic acid, is available to the brain in less than a minute. Now, Dave Asprey has a couple of really neat MCT oils. First, brain octane. That's the strictly C8 caprylic acid. That's an oil that if you need to get up and get quickly to a meeting at work, or you're blowing through a quick test early in the morning, you want to get some caprylic acid directly to the brain because it fires up brain activity and function through fast ketone, which is a breakdown product of fats, ketone activity. Ketones are the preferred fuel of the brain, and they very quickly turn on cognition. They're also quite anti-inflammatory in nature, and they're used therapeutically, actually, in disease states like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, ALS, etc. They're helpful in diabetes states and so forth. In fact, they seem to be very helpful for health in general. The C10 or the 10 carbon length MCT oil is also very quickly absorbed by the brain, although not quite as rapidly as C8, but it's a little bit more sustained activity. So MCT 10 length carbon is a little cheaper to extract, a little less expensive to make C10 versus C8. So Dave Asprey put together a second oil, which he calls XCT, which is a combination of the C8 and C10. Another great oil. What I like to do in the morning generally is start my day with the C8 so I can get my brain revved up, get to work, and really be on top of things as quickly as I can. Later in the day when I do a second coffee around lunch, I tend to use the XCT oil. Again, it's a little bit more affordable that way, and it gives me a little bit more sustained energy through the day, through the brain, and through the rest of the cells. So, you know, you can probably go on YouTube and find 50 videos on the exact Dave Asprey Bulletproof Coffee recipe. But I'm going to give you a little quick example here of how I do it, and we'll go from there. Good, we're going to put that right down. And again, I've been bulletproofing for a couple of years. Love his coffee. It's wonderful. My little twist, though, is that I'm using ORGANO coffee. And as we know, ORGANO products are infused with Ganoderma Lucidum, right? You've probably seen a half dozen or a dozen other videos of mine on this product. I love Dave Asprey's clean coffee. It's delicious. But we also know that there are nearly 1,600 studies in the National Library of Medicine on Ganoderma Lucidum, the amazing mushroom that's infused into all of the ORGANO products. But let me show you what we're going to do here. Coffee's in. We're going to drop in our nice water off a boil. I'm going to leave it a bit less from the top right now. And what we'll do now is I'm going to go with the XCT oil today. Same thing as brain octane in usage, but I'm going to actually put a tablespoon of oil in. Right? I'm going to drop it right in here like so. And Dave Asprey uses a blender. I'm going to use a really neat tool we have here, which is a little immersion blender. Does a wonderful job. I get it started like that. Then I drop in, the official recipe is about a tablespoon of grass-fed butter. We know that grain-fed animals are full of omega-6 oils, which are the kinds of oils that tend to be inflammatory in the diet. We want omega-3 oils, which are anti-inflammatory pathway promoters. So grass-fed butter is spun into this, and you'll notice a really nice little creamy top comes up on this. The more you spin it, the better. So if you want to use a blender, you can, but this is a really nice, quick way as well. Now that right there essentially is a bulletproof coffee. We have a nice dosage of MCT oil to start our day, and we have grass-fed butter, which is a great anti-inflammatory, health-promoting fat. Remember, folks, we want to keep inflammation down. All chronic degenerative disease is driven by inflammatory activity in the cells. What causes inflammation? Carbohydrates, sugar, grains. We can do a whole other video on that, which I may do soon. But essentially, I'm making a product to start my day which fuels my cells and fuels my brain immediately. Now, I use the ORGANO products. This is the black and so forth. And again, I can't keep it in my office. My patients love it. We sell out all the time. In fact, you know, there are some other things that we sometimes add to our coffee as well. Again, one of the nice collagen proteins that I found on the market through manual muscle testing is one, again, by Dave Asprey at Bulletproof. Great stuff there. Sometimes we add other forms of protein, beef gelatin, bone broth at times. You know, I'm not promoting any one of these in specific, but if you want to fuel your day without a lot of carbs to weigh you down, to cause inflammation, to cause sugar surges and insulin spikes and those kinds of things, which we really should try to avoid doing, folks. I just want to wrap up by saying that I'm trying to hack my health. For 33 years, I've been a practicing applied kinesiologist, chiropractor here in Central Mass. Every single day I deal with folks, and the beauty of applied kinesiology, as we know, is we can assess endocrine system, digestive, immune, cell detox pathways. And I'm here to tell you that 95% of our problems with chronic illness, chronic disease, arthritis, all kinds of afflictions which we see in the aging population, and we assume it's just old age. Well, part of that is obviously the aging process. We can't stay 20 years forever, but a lot of it is preventable, or at least hugely slowable, by taking the right approach in our diets. So as a quick reminder on that, keep sugars, grains, refined oils out of the diet. Let's keep vegetables in. A good vegetable fiber is key for the microbiome production and the rest. And we need to get into the habit of putting good fats back into our bodies. Forget the old outdated dogma of low fat, high carb. It's making everybody sick. I encourage you to look into this yourselves. Couple great websites I love. Dr. David Perlmutter, Perlmutter. He wrote Grain Brain, Brain Maker, and other books. He has a great YouTube channel. Look him up. He's got well over 200 videos and interviews with leading edge experts, chemists, researchers, and so forth. So I think that's a wonderful place to start. I'll leave a couple links down below for you to check things out. As far as the organo products, we've talked about them before. I have at least another dozen videos for you to look at if you haven't seen those. It's the most healthful thing I add to my diet every day, and I encourage you to look into it. If you have any questions about it or have any interest in it, please feel free to get in touch with me through my YouTube channel, or I leave my email down below, and be happy to talk about it. So until we meet again in our next video, I want to wish you vibrant health. Have a great day.
Yeah, I'm back here.
You ready? Wow, I thought it would be more than that.